this evening, a man arrested earlier last week in Riverside County after being accused of assaulting a 17-year-old boy with a gun may have been a federal immigration agent. That's according to a lawyer for the family of the victim. Surveillance video shows the teen was driving on Daybrook Terrace in Temecula when Geraldo Rodriguez yelled for him to stop his truck. He can be seen demanding the unarmed teen to get out of the truck while pointing a gun at him and displaying a badge.
He was just scared he was going to get shot. I think right now there's been a lot of news stories about ICE agents shooting people, shooting at their vehicles, shooting at all sorts of, in all sorts of unnecessary situations. And I think he thought he was going to be in that same situation. So he immediately slammed on his brakes, and then that same officer pulled him out at gunpoint.
And we have reached out to the Department of Homeland Security to learn whether Rodriguez is in fact an ICE agent. The agency has yet to respond to our questions.
What you just saw isn't a random incident, okay? It's a window into a much bigger problem unfolding in communities across, this whole country. A problem that every American, no matter their politics or background, deserves to understand, all right? And I know that was difficult to watch. It's terrible that this is happening. And an ICE agent or a man believed to be working as one was arrested after pointing a gun at a 17-year-old boy who was simply driving down his street. Police say he flashed a badge, ordered the teen out of the car, and held him at gunpoint. It took neighbors to step in to make this thing de-escalate, okay? And that is not law enforcement, okay? I don't care what badge you wear. If you break the law, if you commit a crime, you should be dealt with accordingly. Thank God these local police did that. If you talk to families in communities like this, especially Mexican-American families, they are telling you that they are already living with a real sense of fear. And that fear isn't, coming out of nowhere. It's coming from repeated incidents of excessive force by immigration officers around the entire country. Incidents that are documented, verified, reported by outlets like KTLA and, the Los Angeles Times and things like that. Just last week, according to the family's lawyers, that's right, there was an operation where a 1-year-old baby was pepper sprayed from a moving car during an ICE action. Just think about that for a second. When that's the backdrop, it's not hard to see how a man like this could feel, emboldened to turn his own block into, what attorneys called a personal ICE checkpoint. It's not okay. And that's the real issue here, okay? It's not just about one man with a gun. It's about an environment, a culture, where some individuals believe they can take federal power into their own hands, where a badge becomes a weapon instead of, a seal of responsibility. Real law enforcement knows the difference between authority and abuse, okay? Real law enforcement doesn't point a gun at a child over a traffic issue. Period. Okay? Real law enforcement doesn't turn a neighborhood street into a stop and frisk zone because, they feel personally angry about, speeding. This incident was stopped because local residents and neighbors stepped in and said, "You're done. Stop. That's enough." And that's what makes this story, so powerful. A community stood between a teenager and a gun. They did what this man refused to do his job, which is to protect children and the community. Even the family's attorney said it. This boy could have been shot. The only reason he wasn't is because the people came out of their homes and used their voices. The fear that this creates in, real life. Think about it. The parents ran down the street with their son's passport. Okay? Because they thought this might be the start of a raid. That is what the current climate has produced. Families who are citizens, taxpayers, and longtime residents who still feel they might be swept up in any moment. Okay? So the question now is simple. What happens next? Will there be a full investigation into whether this man was in fact working with ICE? Will his supervisor be held accountable if he was, misusing his position? And What will the Department of Homeland Security say about an agent turning a suburban street into a scene out of a raid video? I'll keep my eyes on it, and if you guys are curious and you want me to continue looking into this and dig deeper, then leave it in the comments, and I'll do it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected and informed to the stories that matter, the people that matter, and most importantly, the truth. The thing that is so hard to find right now. And just so you guys know, I do the best that I can to answer the comments. So I really hope to see you guys in there.